there's a missing element from your leadership that will not only change your impact, but it'll also blow up your bottom line in a good way, of course. But before we dive in, my name is Sharita Bagby, former conformist turned profit rebel, working with high achieving men, layering in purpose and passion for a delicious profit. That one thing that's missing is desire. But before you blow me off, hear me out on this. I'm going to show you 5 ways that it helped me to not only increase my impact, but really to expand my business in an exponential way within 12 months. So the number one way that desire helped me to expand my business was when I started being honest about myself, I switched audiences. I switched from working with women, other coaches in particular, and started working with high achieving, what I like to call my alpha CEOs, those dominant alpha types. And the reason why this was so beneficial to me is initially I was bored as fuck working with women. Not that women are boring, okay? I'm a woman. We are not boring. We are very exciting. We are very intriguing. We are very lovely. It was the conversations and the audience that I was working with. I was living in the realm of safety, and it was boring the fuck out of me. But when I started getting honest about myself, or honest with myself about what I wanted, and I allowed myself to actually want what I wanted, I realized I actually wanted to work with men. And for more on that, you definitely got to go back and watch, what was that video, Playing in the Whore's Energy? Yeah, it was a doozy. But the thing that I realized was in doing so, I switched to an audience of these alpha CEOs, and it was a far more aligned audience for me. Rather than playing just out of safety, I was now working with an audience who I had a great impact on, and conversely also had a wonderful, delicious, beautiful impact on me as well. So really switching audiences by tapping into my desires and what I really wanted made my work more impactful. Number 2, I switched from doing traditional coaching containers that were, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, into usually between 8-hour and 24-hour intensives. And when I really was honest with myself, what I found was I didn't enjoy doing the traditional longer term coaching. I don't want to meet with you every week for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. I want to go really deep. I want to go all the way in, and then I want to come back up for air. And what I found was that by switching my coaching methodology and my model, that I became more impactful again in what I was doing. And with the audience that I was working with, it was more appealing to them. They were excited about the fact that they didn't have to show up in, especially with their busy schedules, and take tons of time and wait to see results, hopefully maybe in 6 weeks from now or in 6 months from now, that within 24 hours, I know that you're going to get what you're looking for. And so really it's more fun for me. It makes the conversation and the coaching space more engaging. And really it also becomes more collaborative for me and for them as well, right? Because at the end of the day, it isn't just about me. It's for those who are on the receiving end. Number 3, or I guess the third way that desire deliciously impacted my business was it honestly allowed me to raise prices. Now, there's a very surface layer of that, where obviously raising prices means you can make more money with doing or seeing less clients. It's definitely not less work, but with seeing fewer clients. But on the flip side of the coin, there's a deeper layer to that with raising prices. When I was being honest about what I really wanted, it gave me a lot more fulfillment, because now I can come in and I can do this high impact work and I don't feel drained by it. I'm sure somewhere in your life you have done a job or been in an organization or a situation where you have committed your all and you didn't feel valued by it, or you didn't feel like you were being valued by the work that you were contributing. So layering in a higher level price point definitely created a deeper level of fulfillment for me. But on top of that, by raising my price point and being honest about what I want, earlier I talked about the having a different audience. Raising my price point actually brought in a different audience. I'm sorry, my phone is buzzing. Actually brought in a more aligned audience, because this audience was like, hey, at this price point, I'm taking advantage. I'm showing up. I'm not only am I showing up, but I'm showing up on time, if not early. And I'm really going to hone in and get every single bit out of this. What I can tell you is, as a coach, there is nothing more frustrating. And I'm sure you've experienced this somewhere in your career where you are set, you are ready, you've got everything lined up, you're excited about it, and the person blows you off. And they're like, I'll catch you next time. And there's nothing even more disappointing than them later on saying, well, I didn't get out of it what I thought I was going to get out of it. Bitch, you didn't show up. Okay, excuse me. I didn't want to say it like that, but you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Okay. The fourth way that desire enhanced my impact and my bottom line was when I started being honest about what I really wanted and how I wanted my coaching containers to be centered. I realized I wanted to move out of that traditional office space. I mean, of which I had office space for a while and it was expensive and I didn't love it, right? I liked it, but I didn't, let me rephrase that. I actually loved it. I wasn't in love with it. Does that make sense? But what it did was it allowed me to move into the space of luxury coaching. So yes, I still have my my Profit Rebellion package, which is a VIP, a virtual VIP day, intensive, of course. But it also allowed me to start creating what I call the Alpha Chamber and the Titan Experience. And that Alpha Chamber, formerly known as the Houston Hideaway, if you've been with me for a while, and that's a luxurious space in Houston where we've got the private chef, we've got the chauffeurs, we've got car service. Like, we're doing all of the things. We're nice, we're relaxed, we're comfortable, we're indulging every bit of our senses to really dive into this intensive. And then on top of that, the Titan Experience, which is a very similar experience, but that one's out of Miami where we're on the yacht. And if you've been around me for any length of time, you know a girl loves her beach and her yacht days. Okay. I do not play. I do not play. So in doing so, not only can I create a beautiful space and an indulgent space for my clients where they can come in and feel safe and comfortable to sink in, but getting out of that typical corporate environment really takes them out of the norm and allows them to really feel into the process of the intensive. So not only is it just an experience for both of us, but it sets a tone, it sets an atmosphere that my clients, my particular clientele, tend to really thrive in. And again, this took me being honest about this is what coaching usually looks like. And these are the spaces where coaching normally happens. And to be able to step out on the limb and say, no, I want mine to look and feel like this. And again, it's beautiful because it aligns with my clientele. And the fifth way, there are so many ways, but I thought I'd stop with 5, is by bringing desire into my business, it really gives me the freedom to do me. And what I mean by that isn't just, the hair or the clothes. It's the ability to come in and to talk about the things that are on my heart to talk about. Like, by moving desire into my business, it's not so much like, what is the structured corporate way of doing things and the traditional way of doing things, and I need to stay within this box. It really is like, what feels right and good and juicy and delicious to me? Like, what is it that I want to talk about? What is it that I want to create? What impact do I want to bring into this world? And so many coaches, I see this and I love it for them, because if it works for them and they love it, do you, boo, right? But for me, I see so many people who have this desire, this goal that they want to reach, this impact that they want to make in the world, but they feel like they have to then come over here and package it into something nice and tight and neat that looks like the standard in order to present it. And the beautiful thing is, like, I know that I am not a traditional kind of girl, right? Like, I have certain traditions that I love. I talked about this in Playing in the Whore's Energy, where I talked about I actually do have an appreciation and a fondness for traditional gender roles, but how I show up in that space gets to be very unique unto me, especially within my business, because I love standing beside and in some cases behind my dominant alpha CEOs. Like, I have no problem with that. I don't need the recognition, right? Just knowing that I'm doing what calls to my soul and I can help feed into someone else something that calls to their soul, it eventually leads to the greater good, right? And if you know anything about me, or you've seen any of my videos or heard me talk, one of my deepest missions in life is to help create a more equitable and sustainable world for us all. And I do that through coaching leaders, through coaching my dominant alpha CEOs, through this space of clarity and understanding and desire and leadership. And so bringing in desire, it doesn't have to be a distraction. It doesn't have to be chaotic. Recognizing, understanding, knowing what the desire is, moving beyond the surface level of the desire into the underflow, into the undercurrent, the thought behind the thought, and the thought behind that, and the feeling and the feelings behind that really starts to tap us not into a passionate space, but into a purpose driven space, a purpose filled space. And that's truly where fulfillment, where impact, where legacy all come together, and they create a beautiful space that, again, creates more equitability and sustainability throughout the world. Now, having said that, I have 3 guiding principles that I tend to operate off. Not that I tend to operate off, that I run everything up against. Number 1 is authenticity. Number 2 is integrity. And number 3 is sustainable. Because if I'm keeping it real, I can do some shit that is completely authentic to me, but it ain't anywhere near integrity. And it sure as shit isn't sustainable. And then I've come up with ideas where I'm like, oh, this is authentic to me. It's an integrity. I love this. I love this. I love this. And 3 weeks later, I'm like, oh my God, this is not sustainable. Right? So my guiding principles are authenticity, integrity, and sustainability. And those incorporate into my motto of purpose plus passion equals delicious profit. And when I say delicious profit, I'm not talking about like the kind of profit that just makes your bank account feel good. I'm talking about that full body, whole being feel good, like that fulfillment. Like it was fun, it was challenging, it was crazy along the way, but I loved every moment of it, even in the frustration, right? In the midst of frustration, I loved every moment of it, and it feels good, and I feel accomplished, and I feel like I did something. Like that's the delicious profit. So bringing desire into your leadership, into your corporation, into your current structure doesn't mean you have to burn everything down. Doesn't mean you have to go off on the deep end. It means it may even be something that only you recognize, but it means recognizing what that thing is, honoring it, appreciating it, leaning into it, understanding it at a deeper level. Because again, desire is just the surface. And once we get deeper into it, we can start to understand what the passion is. And when we know what that passion is, it is deeply tied into your life's purpose. And you're not the same person you were at 25, even at 35, right? At this point, at this time in your life, you've grown, you've matured, you've seen a lot, you've conquered a lot. You know what you're capable of. You know where your zone of genius is. And this is your opportunity to start to layer those things, those desires, like you've played the game, right? Now you start to be able to shift the rules to fit you and to bring those desires in and layer them in, sometimes in a way that only you see, right? Sometimes in a way that your team, that your family recognize, but 9 times out of 10 with the alpha CEOs that I work with, it gets recognized from the way that you show up in the world, from the way that you command the room, from the presence that you bring home with your children and the intimacy that you bring into the bedroom with your wife or your partner, your spouse, whatever. It shows up in those little subtle ways where you're coming back to the man that you have always been, right? But maybe sometimes or somehow got buried beneath the doingness of life, the doingness of your leadership, the doingness of your mission. And let's face it, that gets old. So bringing desire back in, doing things that genuinely turn you on, not just in the bedroom, but in the boardroom, bringing that fire back into the life, that shit is fucking contagious. Your audience feels it, your team feels it, your colleagues feel it, your family feels it. You shift your presence, you shift your being, you shift your level of intimacy, you shift your level of influence and connection that you have. You bring excitement back into your life. And again, it's not always about doing those things and finding new ways to do them. You've evolved. It's about tapping into those deeper undercurrents and truly understanding what it is. So I encourage you, I invite you to bring desire back into your life, to bring it into your leadership. I definitely want you to look beyond the surface level and really feel into the undercurrent and to recognize that this desire isn't distraction, it isn't chaos. It's a pull, it's a draw into direction. It's a pull, it's a draw into something deeper that's calling you forth, and you get to continue to resist it and deny it, or you get to lean into it and to flow with it. And again, nobody on the outside has to know if you don't want them to. This is a mission between you and you, between you who you are and you who the man who you're being called to be. Even though you already have it all and you've already done it all and you've conquered the boardroom and the bedroom, there's always a capacity for more. So I invite you, I encourage you, I lure you into desire, to really think, to tap into it, to feel into what that direction is, because it is here for you. Okay. All right, my friends, I wanted to keep this one a little short today. I think we did good. And if you will, let's take one quick sip and enjoy. Happy day, happy day, happy day. I want to say peace and love, fam. And here is to the deliciousness of life. Please comment below and tell me what desire is calling to you. What do you want that you haven't been allowing yourself to want? And then ask yourself, what's the thought behind the thought? Go deep. It gets to be fun. It gets to be easy. And let's keep it real. It gets to be whatever the fuck you want to create it to be. So I want you to go have your cake and eat it too. Peace and love, fam. Talk soon. Take care. Bye.